What's up guys, Jimmy with Andrew. Welcome back to Freshly Charged. Today we have a new one from Aventon. It's the Pace 4, and this is a fantastic cruiser, really high tech and with some great refinements from previous generations that we're excited to show you. Andrew, what do you have?
Yeah, it's a great commuter e-bike. It's locked at 20 miles per hour, but you can unlock it to 28 miles per hour as a class 3 e-bike.
Great looking e-bike, and we're gonna do a walkthrough from top to bottom.
Starting out the cockpit, you have these grips with these wings for comfort on longer rides, Tektro-hydraulic brake levers, left thumb throttle, and we have a new display that we haven't seen before on the previous Aventon bikes. They've gone from that larger center display to the side color display, which is really nice actually. Very clear and crisp, so you just hold down the plus and minus down. Now you can go through the different types of settings, and you can also pair it with the Bluetooth app, which has a lot of cool features. I was very surprised for how small the display is, that you can easily navigate through the menu and clearly read all the functionality. Everything's connected to BMX style handlebars, a front-facing light with adjustable angle, rigid fork with 27.5 by 2.1 inch Innova tires, 180 millimeter brake disc with 2-piston Tektro-hydraulic brakes. Inside the frame is a 36 volt 20 amp hour battery, and there is no key to remove it. How you actually get the battery out is by going through the menu or using the app. I just quickly go to the menu, then you can go down to the battery lock, and now it pops out. You have a smooth button at the top that you pull it out with, and this is a 36 volt 20 amp hour battery. It's actually slightly lower than 20 amp hours. Right here it says 19.88 amp hours, so 733 watt hours.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a beep that's going on. Andrew, what is that beep?
Yeah, it's an IoT security system, which will actually alert you when the bike's being moved. It's beeping to let people know that, hey, there's an alarm system with the bike. And what's really nice is you can track it in real time. You can also set up geo-fencing that if the bike ever leaves a specific area, it'll cut off all the electronics in it. There's a 48 tooth chainring with plastic pedals on there. The seat has adjustable height with suspension seat posts. Moving to the rear, you have a 180 millimeter brake disc with 2-piston hydraulic brakes. There's also a rear wheel lock, which is nice that you can activate through the bike or also through the app. Right above that wheel lock, you see the rear brake lights and also turn signals integrated with the frame. On this side, we have a chain guard, which is nice thick rubber, Shimano Altis derailleur, and a 12 by 32 teeth chain ring. Another turn signal indicator and rear light built into the frame, and a 500 watt motor with a peak output of 864 watts. Right behind the pedals, you have the Aventon ACU unit. This allows the 4G connectivity where you can track your rides, also create the geo-fencing and locate your bike if it ever happens to get stolen. In addition to that, you have the app where you can control so many different cool things. You can compete with other riders within the Aventon network, and one of the coolest features for me is being able to adjust all the pedal assist levels. You can really fine tune it for your type of riding. It's a step-through e-bike, only offered as a step-through, and 3 different colors. The total weight of the bike is 58.2 pounds, so it's fairly lightweight for an e-bike. It does have an IPX5 water resistance rating for the bike and an IPX6 water resistance rating for all the electronics on it. And on top of that, it's a UL rated bike, so you shouldn't have to worry about lithium fires.
We're gonna continue riding, or we're gonna talk about what we love about this bike, what we hate about it, and who we think should get the Aventon Pace. It's a cruiser bike. We don't review a ton of these cruiser bikes, so that means there's no suspension. How does that feel for you, Andrew?
Well, there is suspension on the seat post, but that's kind of what you're going for this bike. This bike is really designed to be ridden like a regular traditional bike. Ultra lightweight, even with the pedal assist off, so let's go ahead and turn that off. I can ride this bike perfectly fine normal. So this is really for someone who really wants a natural cycling experience.
As far as e-bikes go, this is pretty lightweight, 58.2 pounds. Cruising around the neighborhood, you could use it for commuting. My parents live near the beach. They're always asking me, what's a great bike to cruise around that's nice, simple, easy? They don't need all the bells and whistles in terms of full suspension because they're just cruising and having a good time on nice, easy trails. That's what this is designed for, and this is where it excels. Look at that skeleton, that is awesome.
Everybody's stepping up their game.
I like that, I want that. All right, we're gonna do a speed test here. Let's see if Andrew can reach the 28 miles an hour top speed as advertised. Yew!
Yeah. It says 28.3 miles per hour, actually 28.5. And I hit over 29 now, 30, whoa. So it was a slight downhill, and if you do pedal harder, you can get above the 28 mile per hour top speed that the pedal assist will allow you to get.
We're going into the wind too though.
Yeah, we're going into the wind and we're getting over 28 miles per hour.
How does that feel, Andrew?
Feels nice. It's always nice to have a little suspension.
Let's talk about the great things that we love about the new Pace by Aventon.
Aventon just makes a very high quality bike. They originally started out as a traditional cycling company. So when they moved into the e-bike space, they took that experience and just made them even better.
Yeah, I mean, just the little touches that to the naked eye, you won't appreciate right away. But if you take a look, the body and the paint job, it's seamless. It just looks great. And they do such a fantastic job with integrating the electronics into the bike. I really do love that the brake lights and the turn signals are built right into the frame. It's just a really nice, really well constructed bike.
And then speaking about the lights, even the front facing light, even though it looks tiny, it's one of the best lights that we've ever found on an e-bike, and it has adjustable angle for different types of riding scenarios.
And as far as cruisers go, if you're looking for a cruiser that'll do the job well and just be an excellent riding experience, this is it. Layer on top of that, all the tech that they've built into this, into their whole Aventon lineup, the security, the geo-fencing, the ability to lock your bike out with your app to be able to track it if it ever gets stolen. Just fantastic that Aventon has this all baked in to this wonderful bike.
This is the only e-bike that we can lock out the rear tire and brake. So we'll show you exactly what that looks like. We'll just go ahead.
Why don't we do it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that on and we'll engage that bike lock. And then now it's locked into place. Yes, you can pick up the bike, but it's nice that it locks that rear brake so no one can even go ride it if they happen to steal it.
And so basically what happens is a pin extends in and goes into this metal disc here to lock that rear tire so the bike cannot be ridden. And if someone wanted to carry it off, sure, they can do that, but they still won't be able to ride it, number one. And number two, you'll be able to track it down using the app.
The paint job on this is stunning. It looks like it has these pinstripe designs, and it has this two-tone color that really shimmers in the sunlight.
The motor and all the electronics work really well together with the bike. It's very quiet and it's very smooth. How's it felt as you've been riding it, Andrew?
It's felt great. And that's one thing I wanted to mention earlier was the natural cycling experience from this bike is awesome. It's exactly what you're looking for if you love traditional cycling, but you're just lost a little bit of your step and want a little electric assistance to help you out.
And then going back to the little things that they've done really well, a lot of the cabling is ran through the frame of the bike and it just looks really nice so that when Andrew's going off little curbs and stuff, sometimes you hear some jangles and whatnot. Not so on this bike.
This new color display, even though it's small, it's very easy to use and navigate through. I was actually surprised because normally I do love a big color display, but this makes it ultra sleek where you can't tell that it's an e-bike just from initial impressions.
And a lot of times people ask, well, what size bike did you get? Andrew, you are how tall?
I'm 6 feet pretty much. I'm like 5 foot and 11 and a half.
So Andrew's about 6 foot and this bike is the large version, right? And so how's it felt for you?
It's been great. The nice thing is that if I am a shorter rider, I can get the regular frame. So it's nice that they offer this in 2 different frames where a lot of e-bike companies only come in one size of a frame.
And then for the folks out there like my parents who are interested in getting a bike like this so that they can cruise around the beach, what do you have to say about their concerns regarding assembling a bike like this on their own?
This is actually one of the easiest bikes to assemble from Aventon because it doesn't have a rear fender. So the only thing you're actually installing on this are the pedals, the handlebars, and how you install the handlebars is you do have to rotate the stem, but that's about it. Just 3 steps to get this bike assembled. Eventually,
you're going to have to get maintenance on these bikes. And if you don't like to do it yourself, what are the options?
That is one of the best things about Aventon is they have one of the biggest dealer networks out of all the e-bike companies. You can look it up on their map and find a dealer typically pretty close to you.
While you can get a lot of bikes online, you can't necessarily take that bike into your local bike shop to get it serviced, to have maintenance done on it, because at least here in Colorado, almost every bike store will not touch a bike if they don't sell it in-house, if they're not familiar with that bike. The nice thing though is a lot of places sell Aventon, so that means there are a lot of places out there that could work on your bike if you need them to help you out.
Aventon bikes look so sleek. Right here it looks like there's no weld marks and it's because it's a gravity cast frame. I love that Aventon has made their battery universal across all their newer bike platforms. So if you have the Pace, the Venture, even the Bound, you can just swap the batteries out between all the different bikes. If you do buy a spare, it will work on all the bikes. So that's an ultra nice feature that we haven't seen from any other e-bike manufacturer. Their app is by far the best app that we've ever seen for any e-bike and personal electric vehicle out there.
We're gonna keep riding. At our next stop, we're gonna talk about what we don't like about this bike. All right, we are going to get ready here for our brake test. So let's just do it right here. So we've got this crack here in the parking lot. Andrew's gonna come about 20 miles an hour. He's gonna hit the brakes and we're gonna see how long it takes for him to stop from going 20 miles an hour.
Oh, that was really good actually. Man, that was really good. 14 feet to stop from 20 miles per hour to 0. Very strong brakes. Tektro hydraulic brakes are some of the best that I find on a budget-friendly e-bike.
Okay, let's talk about where this Pace can improve.
It doesn't come with any fenders or a rear rack. One of the few Aventon bikes that doesn't come with it.
Of course, you can always buy those as an additional upgrades as you see fit. If you're someone like my parents, they only ride when it's nice weather. And so for folks like them, they don't need a fender. But if you do want a bike with a fender, you can look for another bike or you can buy a fender or rack on their website.
This is only offered in a step-through version. Previous Pace bikes used to be offered with a step-over and a step-through frame. So some people may not like it just because they consider this a girl bike. The Pace is only offered as a 500 watt motor. Some people might not love the acceleration curve on the bike, but Aventon offers plenty of other bikes with 750 watt motors and higher peak output. The other issue that some people have mentioned is that it's a 36 volt e-bike. For me, it's not that big of an issue because of the form factor. I'm not expecting super fast acceleration times. I can get up to 28 miles per hour with ease, but it's not a speed demon e-bike. Some people will have an issue with the price point based off of the specs that are offered on this bike, but I can't think of another bike with this price point that offers all the tech, the massive dealer network, and looks as refined as Aventon Pace 4.
So these cruiser bikes, they tend to ride a little bit lower and pedal scraping can happen. Now tell us the problem you've had, Andrew.
For me, I don't love plastic pedals. They get damaged easy, especially with the low clearance and scraping. I would have loved for them to add metal pedals to it, which will add a little bit of weight to the bike.
So those are the areas we've identified where the Pace can improve. Now we're gonna continue riding, and while we ride, we're gonna talk about who should buy the Aventon Pace 4.
All right, so we're about to come to a very steep hill, and I'm gonna turn it into boost mode, which is a new update that they added where you can tap into more power. And let me see if I can climb this hill. Oh yeah. Oh, that was easy. I did not expect that to climb it so easily.
Made it look easy.
Well, and that's also a testament to Aventon's just engineering. Very surprising that a 36 volt, 500 watt motor can easily climb that steep of a hill. One of the best features about this bike that I forgot to mention is that you can switch it from a torque sensor to a cadence sensor. I typically prefer a torque sensor just because it's just like natural cycling experience where it's based off of the pressure you put into the pedaling. But if you're just having one of those days where you're like, hey, I don't want to put a lot of work into it, switch it to cadence sensor, and it's going to be based off of how many times the pedal revolves. And so you can easily get up to 28 miles per hour with little to no effort.
All right, so who should get this bike? I feel like someone like my parents would love this bike. They live near the beach and they just love to cruise. This is the perfect cruiser. They don't need the extra suspension and the weight that it brings and the extra cost. They just need a nice high quality cruiser, and this is it. Andrew, who do you think should get this bike?
For me, it's the person who wants a natural cycling experience in an E version. This bike is great. It's lightweight, handles well, works perfectly fine without pedal assist, but if you want a little bit of extra boost on there, you can turn on the pedal assist, and if you don't, you can ride it like a normal bike.
So check out our full written review at freshlycharged.com. Thanks for watching, and when you guys ride, wear your safety gear.